Each day, men and women have a variety of responsibilities to maintain. Establishing yourself professionally and attaining a personal life of fulfillment are usually at odds in our society. These clashes can lead to an unfulfilled existence. Have you had enough of this constant discontentment? It's time to change your perspective at Live Life Wealthier. Listen in on conversations that reveal the keys to living a full life. Learn how to achieve true wealth in the four realms of L.I.F.E: love, inspiration, family, and enterprise. This is your guide to breaking free from a rut and maintaining a healthy balance between your personal and professional lives. Marta Skik Harich is your host.
Good morning, my Live Life Wealthier community, our viewers, our listeners. I am very excited to share this podcast with you today. This has been stirring inside me for so long, and I'm glad it's finally ready to be shared with you. I have had many experiences over the last several years, particularly, and most importantly, over the last several months, where I have come across a formula, a belief, and I'm calling it that because, well, I'll share with you shortly why. We tend to look at people that seem to have it all, seem to be able to do it all, seem to just constantly have all this energy and desire and flow. We look at these people and we almost look at them like avatars, like they are above us. They are godlike. They are divine. They have something, that je ne sais quoi, that something that sets them apart, that light, that unknown factor that's so attractive, not only physically, but spiritually and energetically. You just want to be around these people. They're like magnets. And what I want to share with you here is that this is something that you can have and embrace and be as well. These avatars are avatars for a reason. They're avatars because they represent something that we want to obtain. They represent something that is maybe unknown, that's a mystery, something that needs unraveling. It's something that we hold our standards against. And these avatars are also human. They're just like you and I. They've just figured something out that some of us have not yet, but we have every capability within us to do so. And I'm going to circle this back around to, something that has always been commented on as I proceed through life, as I live my life. And by all means, I am certainly not an avatar, and that's not what I'm saying at all here. But I'm realizing something that I've been able to tap into that I want to share with you because it is a gift to be able to align with and then do anything you want to do because you're truly limitless at that point in time. And it's interesting because I look at myself as just, I'm normal. I'm a normal human being. I do what I do. I have 2 podcasts. I run a tax strategy firm. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I travel and speak nationally. I'm a leader. I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. I write books. I play with my kids. I travel. And when someone looks in, and I get these comments quite frequently. And this is why I'm sharing them with you, because I'm unraveling the fabric that I am to share with you how easy it is to seamlessly from the outside in look like you have it all, right? So I do all these things and I don't lose energy. And I do these things because I know they come into my life because I'm abundant and I live abundantly. And I'm using these words very specifically because we're at a time right now, and this is 2025, right? We're at a time right now where consciousness is a hot topic, and it's a hot topic everywhere, not only with those that are pursuing enlightenment, but it's a topic when you're working out, when you're in your yoga poses, when you're at a business conference, when you're traveling, when you're at church or temple or mosque, when you're walking down the street at the grocery store, when you flip through YouTube shorts. Consciousness is everywhere. And it's wrapped around in many, many words. And I'm really, really pleased that this has been a common conversation. And if you haven't heard this conversation yet, now that you heard me say it, you're going to hear it everywhere. It's like when you purchase that car, right? When I purchased my Honda Pilot, yes, I have a Honda Pilot. When I purchased my Honda Pilot, I saw Honda Pilots everywhere that I was driving. And now that you're aware of this word consciousness, you're going to hear it everywhere. And I encourage you to approach it with an open heart and an open mind. And I encourage you also, and I invite you to not assign words, not assign your expectations to what it means, because I promise you it means something completely different than what you have been trained to think it means. Okay. So going back to life, right? Many, many times I get the comment, Marta, I can't believe you're traveling again. I can't believe you have 3 kids at home and you're speaking on a stage out in San Diego or in Texas or wherever I'm at the moment. I can't believe you're now publishing your 3rd book, your 2nd co-authored book, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And I'm saying this humbly and I'm sharing this humbly because, in all honesty, and I'm getting goosebumps as I say this, because this is so true. I am saying this so humbly because my entire life I've been defensive when people said that about me. I was embarrassed. And it's interesting because how can we possibly be embarrassed of our lives and our accomplishments? But what I realized I was doing is dimming my own light, hiding it so that I became more normal, not in my eyes, but in public perception, in my friends' eyes, in my neighbors' eyes, in my colleagues' eyes. When I went to school, in other students' eyes, right? And I'm pointing this out because there's always a point in our lives where there comes a moment where things are just flowing naturally. Things are just happening. Things are moving and grooving, and you're not even thinking about it. You're just going with the flow. You're not resisting, and you're creating something spectacular. Whether it's a new cooking recipe or playing the piano, reading a book, having some time to yourself, playing with your kids, getting married, traveling, going out with your friends, running your business, training your team, hiring a new employee, whatever it is, it's flowing. And when you're in that flow, and I'd like you to imagine it, when you're in that flow, You feel weightless. You feel magical. You feel like everything's working with you and flowing with you. Listen to this for a second. You feel divine. You feel superhuman. You feel like you can do anything in the world, my friends. That's the feeling to hold on to. That is the experience to hold on to. And then imagine someone else, just random, coming up to you and saying, wow, it just looks like you have it all. You just have it all figured out. And they say it in that tone, right? You've been there. I know it. I've been there. And they say it in that tone. And then all of a sudden, that magic kind of falls flat and the flow stops. And you no longer feel divine and flowing and superhuman. You feel, how do I put this? You feel like you're being judged, and then you deflate, and then you kind of just sit there and simmer in that. And because someone else said it in that tone, now you feel like you're an imposter. You are resentful. You feel like you have to hide what you're doing, dim your light. You're dimming your light so that someone else feels comfortable because they can't identify who you are. They can't identify with that avatar that you've become for them. And I'm painting this picture for you because if you look at your own life, and when you only compare yourself to yourself, don't compare yourself to anyone else. When you compare yourself to yourself, I'm being redundant for a reason. When you compare yourself to yourself, you can see that there's always a moment in time where you know you're flowing and you know you're freaking awesome and you know you're freaking amazing. I'm trying not to swear here. You know you're just so amazing and you're flowing, but then you also want to fit in and you also don't want to make someone else feel bad because you've been taught that making someone else feel bad is a big no-no. So you say, yeah, no, it's nothing. And then you start telling the other person about your problems. Oh, wait, but my kids do this, and my husband does this, and my employees do this, and my car broke down the other week, and my mother does this. And when I travel, this happens. And then you start criticizing your own progress. You start criticizing your own consciousness because you're dimming yourself and you're diminishing your own accomplishments and your own flow to meet the other person's energy. My friends, this is a trap. And I've realized this, and that's why it's so important that I'm sharing this with you. I realized it's a trap. Our lives should not be difficult. Our lives should not have umpteen amounts of complaints layered and layered to show everybody else how hard we're trying, how hard our life is, how hard that drive to work is, how annoying some people are, right? That's not life. That's not abundance, my friends. That's resisting the flow and resisting your superhuman nature. Okay? And I once again, I believe you'll be able to identify with what I just shared because it happens to every single one of us. None of us are unique in that respect. It's happened to me many times. It's happened to my family many times. It happens to every single person I talk to. And of course, I wouldn't be sharing this if I didn't know there was a solution. And there truly, truly is. And what I have found is that number one, anytime I flipped my mind around, right? Because I am in full acknowledgement and gratitude that life should be easy and it should flow. And we should all have that easy button that we press. And the universe should just unfold in front of us. Everything should just flow so naturally and abundantly And we should be able to manifest instantaneously and feel love and peace and abundance and hope at all times. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be extraordinary? And it's interesting because when we're in that flow, when we have those moments of clarity, whether it's at home or at work or in your business or when you're traveling or when you're having fun, when you're meditating, right? There's these moments of clarity where you feel that way. And I encourage you to stop for a moment and think about where those moments in your life are. Those moments are the moments you have to hang on to and recreate more and more and more and more of them. Because the more you recreate of those moments, the more your life changes. The more the circumstances around you are going to unravel and reconstruct themselves to match your frequency. It's all about energy, my friends. And the more you exude your light, we hear a lot about the light will shine on the darkness. Don't hide your light. A light is not meant to be hidden. It is meant to be on a hill. It's meant to shine and lead the way. And we are meant to shine and lead the way. And it could be in the littlest things or it could be in life-changing, extraordinary things. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you follow that light every day, even if it's one thing that you do, one thing that just flows so naturally. Doing that, there's a reason why it just flows and you gravitate towards it and you feel superhuman. You feel like you can do anything in the world. The reason is because you're aligning yourself with your higher self. That pure alignment, my friends, that alignment up is what guides you. It's the guiding light. It's the guiding force. It's the energy. It's your higher self. It's God. It's source. It's zero. It's oneness. It's universe, whatever you call it. That alignment, my friends, allows everything to flow. And it is written and said many generations to this point, and I won't quote anything at the moment. Time will come when we're ready to do that. When one seeks the source, seeks God, seeks light, seeks that higher self in alignment, when one seeks that first, everything else unfolds. Creation and life unfold in front of you exactly how they are meant to unfold. Circumstances fall away and they detangle from themselves because they must. Darkness doesn't come out of the light. Light comes out of the darkness. And once light shines, once that light is illuminated inside of you, once you grab onto that thing that lights you up magically, that makes you flow, that is your guiding North Star. That is what will never, ever, ever lead you astray. That is what makes you feel and look superhuman to others. If I look at my life, and I've done this before, and it's very interesting, and I'm a crier and I get emotional about this, and I do because it's true. It's truth. And you may experience this a little bit differently. When I experience truth in pure alignment with my higher self, my eyes water and I get goosebumps all over. I get goosebumps in places I didn't know I could get goosebumps in. I get goosebumps on my ears, right? I mean, who knew? When we're in that alignment, magic happens. And I encourage you as you're listening to this and as you move on with your day, I encourage you to see what that alignment is for you. Notice where you have to be. Notice what triggers you, what location, what sound, what conversation, what smell. Pay attention to your senses and see what triggers you to get to that divine flow. Okay. And hold on to that. Journal it, write it down, because we have been trained and accustomed here in our bodies, in our earthly presence, from the moment that we are born to know how to handle all the circumstances around us, the stimulus. We're trained on how we need to speak, how we need to walk, who we need to listen to, what we need to say, what's good, what's bad, what's a bad smell, what's a good smell, right? We're trained for that, to be super sensory in all of our senses. We're not trained in listening to our intuition and that bubbly feeling that we feel, those butterflies in our belly, those goosebumps, the eyes watering when we hear truth and when we align to it. And that's something we have to, and I'm going to say flat out, we have to. That's something we have to realign with and remember again, because that's what's going to fix our circumstances. Truly, I believe that this is what's going to fix our world. With this alignment, knowing your tools, which we'll get to at a later time, this alignment, knowing your tools and being surrounded by the community that will be able to support this is how we get to that next level, is how we get to that next level of ascension. You know, right now, what's been very popular in the media is this new world that we're in, this new ascended world, Earth 2.0. And I'll unravel it. It's very simple. The more conscious you are, the more realigned to the source you become, the more you remember that that's all you need for everything else to flow. Then you become the avatar yourself. And I'm going to backtrack for a moment here. When someone asks me how I do it, how I do it all, I flat out tell them at the moment that it's absolutely not me. If I had everything that I do on my shoulders, I wouldn't know where to begin. I'm just a human body. I'm just a vessel, right? I wouldn't be able to handle all the pressure that I'm under every single day from all different angles by myself. I'm able to do what I do because I align. And when I align, nothing that I do seems difficult or challenging or stressful. I'm going to caveat that there's moments when I get wrapped up around in my own circumstances where I do think it's difficult and challenging and stressful. And then I use the tools that I have, that I've learned, that I've remembered, that have already been inside me. And I step out of my circumstances and look at them at arm's length. I look at the circumstances as they are. Those are circumstances. They are not me. And then I'm able to realign again. And we'll get into, in future episodes, we'll get into what that looks like, because that realignment, my friends, is truly the answer to everything. Every single thing. Everything. Everything. I can't emphasize that. And I've had moments where I stepped back and I've been able to look at the life that I'm leading right now. And by all means, it's not an example of perfection. but I love that I'm able to do a lot. I love that I can love what I do. I love where I'm at. I love my career. I love my family. I love my kids. I love my travel. I love my husband. I love my mom. Like I love God. I love the source. And I am so grateful every day that I get to play and do and be exactly who I am. I love it. I love it. And I want that for you. And many times when we look at avatars or the people we want to be, it seems like, oh my gosh, they must have this crazy formula. It must be so complicated. It must be so complicated to do what they do. And I will tell you right now, it is not. The answer is the simplest answer. And we tend to look at complex answers like, oh, if I have this complex answer, if I have this complex process, I'm clearly better than everybody else, right? Like we all go through that process. Don't deny it. It makes me look so smart when I have this complex process, right? It's not about the complex process. The answer is so simple and it's within us. When we align our hearts, our minds, our bodies, which are our vessels, to source, to our higher selves, we remember how to flow. We remember how to be. That's the only thing that's needed. When you align first, everything else flows afterwards. Everything else flows afterwards. And I am so, 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 so excited that one, you're listening to this. And I'm so excited to share this. And I feel that I'm ready to share this with you. I'm ready to share this because I want you to flow as well. When we pray, it's thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. The kingdom's right here on earth. It's in your heart. And all we have to do is remember it. Remember to align, and that kingdom is ignited within us. And it's magical and it's superhuman. And I am so grateful that you have stayed this long to listen to this podcast episode because I know you're ready. I know you're ready for more and for better and for easier. You're ready for that easier button. And I am so happy that you've tuned in because you're ready. You are ready and you're magical. And I'm going to leave you with this. Okay? What are you afraid of more? Are you afraid to fail? Or are you afraid to see your infinite possibility? I'm going to leave you with that question. Are you afraid to fail? Or are you afraid to see your infinite possibility? My friends, thank you for joining us. And I can't wait to see you on the next episode.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. May this discussion serve as a gentle reminder that living a fulfilling and purposeful life is possible. Take charge of your life right now by cultivating relationships, drawing inspiration, nurturing love, and expanding income streams. Visit livelifewealthier.com for additional conversations that will provide you with life-altering aha moments. That's all I have for now. Until the next time, take care.